has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, Carver High. I'm getting excited. I told you, I think, last week, I was like, I remember 2013 when Russell Martin hit that home run at PNC in the wild card off Cueto, and they went crazy in the stands and left at Pittsburgh. I would love to see Skenes and this Jared Jones take them to a wild card. It's the same situation. They're not good enough to win the division. They're not good enough to win the World Series. They're not good enough to be with the heavyweights. But Christ almighty, what I wouldn't give just to see him win the last wild card with those two young stud pitchers. I am telling you, these two pitchers are so talented. They're going to make the playoffs next year or the year after, as sure as I'm sitting here. You do not have pitching that good and not win. It's that simple. They're going to win because these guys are young and they're every 5 days, and there ain't nothing wrong with them. They ain't these old 35-year-old broken down dudes that, it's every year they hit the IL. These young guys are like, give me the ball.
No doubt. And look, Skenes is 3-0 now, Scotty. 5 innings last night against the Dodgers, 6 hits, 3 runs. He had 8 more strikeouts added to his tally. But of course, the moments that everybody was waiting for last night was his showdown with Shohei Ohtani. Gas in the first inning, Scotty, as he shut him down with 300-plus mile-per-hour fastballs. Actually had the first 2 strikes on him in the second at-bat, but Ohtani got the best of him with a long home run to center field. Bottom line is Pirates won the game 10-6, 7 runs in the second inning for them. After the game, here is Skenes, Scotty, talking about that matchup with Ohtani, those early at-bats in the game.
Yeah, I like to call that big on big because I obviously beat him a couple times earlier, and I think that was the right pitch to throw there. He's a pretty darn good player, so stuff like that's going to happen.
As a player at this level, I know you have a ton of respect for Ohtani. What did you appreciate about that chess match tonight?
You got to kind of tip your cap. He's a good player, and stuff like that's going to happen. They're obviously really good players too, and frankly, that's why we play the game is for matchups like that. So, not happy I gave it up, but it's part of the game.
I like him, man. He knows he can strike anybody out in baseball, anyone. And he also knows if he makes a mistake, these guys, if you listen, a guy like Ohtani, you make a mistake and throw him a meatball right over the plate, he'll knock it to hell and back. Barry Bonds could hit any pitch. You made a mistake with him, it was in the water. So I'm not surprised Ohtani hit one. What I was surprised was seeing him whiff 3 times like he was playing wiffle ball. I mean, he got him clean. Like he looked like he was like golfing or something, playing pickleball. He had no chance against him on those 3 that he nailed him on, 3 in a row. Boom, boom, boom. So they're both great. They're both super talented. I'm licking my chops. This is Doug Drabek, way better than Doug. Drabek was the best pitcher they ever had, I think. And now, Garrett Cole was never this great with the Pirates. He wasn't. He became great in Houston and with the Yankees. He never won a Cy Young until he went to the Yankees. And some people question whether he should have got that. So this guy Skenes is super special. Watching him pitch and this kid Jones with his filthy stuff, it's making me, I'm having dreams. I'm dreaming of playoffs. That's all I know. And if they go, I'm going. I'm going to the playoffs, baby.
That's why, and Manfred loves that. He loves hearing you say that because that's why they've added all these wild card teams now, right? Because years ago, Scotty, your dreams wouldn't be realities. Now that they have 3 wild card teams in both leagues, it allows the Pirates to be in the mix here. And who knows if they're still hanging around here, 1 game, 2 game, 3 games out of one of those NL wildcard spots. Maybe you add a bat or something, rent a bat at the end of the year to help out and go along with those guys. And maybe then they can make that playoff push. So I love watching them. I thought that was awesome last night, seeing Skenes take on the Dodgers.
Oh, my God.
It was a lot of fun.
I was horny. I got horny.
It was a ton of fun.
I was horny watching it. I didn't know what to do.
It's appointment TV now. He's one of those guys, and we've had pitchers like this in the past. You're just waiting 5 more days now for him to go. He's the talk of baseball, and everybody wants to see him go up against the best of the best. The Yankees so far have been the best of the best, Scotty, in the American League, and they continue to destroy the Minnesota Twins every single chance they get. 9-5 last night. It wasn't even that close. We've played a lot of Aaron Judge home runs on Coast to Coast over the years. I don't think, Scotty, we've ever played the bases clearing triple from Aaron Judge, and he had one last night on the Yes Network.
The 1-1. Hit shortly. Fair. And down the left field line. LeMahieu scores. Volpe scores. Here comes Soto. He'll score. Judge with a bases clearing triple, and the Yankees lead 7-0.
Honestly, I sent you that piece, right? Not only is he hitting triples, but he's not on pace. He's about 4 behind the pace that he was on when he hit 62. Can you imagine if this guy, all it takes, remember the other day in San Francisco, he had 3. He hit 2 one night, 1 the next day. Imagine if he has a game or 2 in the Bronx where he hits, 2 here, 3 there, and he catches up to the pace. And then July, August, September, if he goes for it again. Can you imagine if this guy hits more than 62 in his career and beats his own record? Honestly, I'll keel over. And remember when he started, they were booing him. These fans are so stupid and fat and drunk in the Bronx. I mean, honestly, the worst hacks you ever met in your life. And they all smell. I go to the games. Everybody's drunk and they smell. They're burping and farting. And then they're booing the guy that they begged to stay. And they're booing him because he started cold. He didn't do spring training. And then a month later, they're all knobbing him because he's hitting a home run every day and triples, driving in 5 runs every night. Who's laughing now?
He's on that pace because he only hit 6 homers in April, and that was with really not doing much at all. And he had 6 homers, and then he he went 13 in May. So he 13, 14 of them in May. So he is if he has another month like that, another couple months like that, he's going to get back on that pace. He's going to make those 4 up pretty quickly.
He's better than Soto, and Soto's the guy we're begging to stay now for 10 years.
Yeah.
Listen,
they'll boo him eventually.
I can't believe he was hitting 197. I went to the game. You saw the 310 to Yuma. I was there. I spent $1,000 in 3 hours and 10 minutes, and I saw this guy strike out 5 times and hit 197. And I was like, he is shot. And now he's got 15 home runs, and he's been blasting bombs like he was back in his Miami days. I mean, it's just erotic for me. I told you I'm going Sunday night. I go Sunday night. Yeah. I go see the Dodgers and the Yankees Sunday night. Let's go.
Yankees-Dodgers on Sunday night. How about that?
Vegas next week. I'm on a tear over here.
You're on a tear, that's for sure. Red Sox beat the Braves 9-0 yesterday afternoon. 2 homers for Devers. How about that Jamie Westbrook, Scotty? 11 years and 1,159 games in the minors. Got his first big league hit.
I like his wife or girlfriend in the stands pounding beers and jumping up and down and getting crazy.
That's it. You got to have that. The Reds beat the Rockies 12-7. Jonathan India had a huge grand slam in the 9th as they were down going into the 9th and ended up scoring 6 runs.
Couple of them last night.
Giants beat the Diamondbacks 9-3. Jordan Montgomery booed off the mound. He's in it's not right. Snell's been hurt 3 times. Montgomery hasn't pitched well. You want to know why? Because they didn't sign until opening day. That's why those guys have been so awful. Nice job, Boris.
Who was the other one? Flores that hit a grand slam breakfast?
Yeah. Yes. He had a grand slam as well.
2 of them.
Phillies beat the Brewers 2-0. Mets beat the Nationals 9-1. They both now are in London, Scotty, where the Phillies and the Mets will play Saturday and Sunday over at that West Ham United Stadium in London. So you have a couple of those this weekend. Make sure you.
I can't wait to not watch that.
Yes, make sure you not watch that. I'll give you tonight's games when we come back, and some taters for tonight as well.
The Mets should stay in London.
Yeah, they should.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
20-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
I know we're still doing baseball, Carver High, but the next best thing is cricket. And isn't it supposed to be like baseball? So the U.S. apparently upset Pakistan at the World Cup. And aren't like the Pakistanis are the best in the world at cricket? Like they're the greatest cricket players in the world. And the U.S. team that's never done anything ever, they beat them at the World Cup. They're saying it's the biggest upset in the history of it.
Yeah, isn't that, aren't they even playing that down the block from me? Isn't that at Eisenhower Park?
It is in Queens.
Is every game there or just
so.
Some of the games? I think every game is there, right? Wow, what a win for them. I could hear the cheers. I'm like, 5 minutes away from Eisenhower Park. I hear the cheers after they got the upset this afternoon. So nice job by them. See, we even squeezed the cricket in here. On coast to coast, or at least we try to. Before I get to tonight's games, one other thing. You mentioned that huge Yankee-Dodger series this weekend in the Bronx. You'll be there Sunday night because that's a Sunday night national TV game. I believe Saturday night's a national TV game on Fox. Friday night was supposed to be only on Apple TV. In fact, Scotty, if you don't live in New York and LA, it is still only on Apple TV. But I think this is the first time they've done this.
That's
they
right.
are going to run that in market in New York on the Yes Network, in LA on Spectrum Sports at LA, which is where the Dodger games are, so that everyone can see it because this is their most anticipated series of the year so far, and they want people to be able to watch it, Scotty. How noble of them over at Major League Baseball.
Well, I don't know about weather and all the rest, but I know this. It's sold out. The 3 games are sold out. One's on Apple the Friday night, but it's going to be on Yes. So the Yankee fans, and it's on Spectrum in LA, so they can listen to their guys, and the Yankee fans can listen to Kay and O'Neill. But the deal is, Saturday's Fox, Sunday's ESPN. But you're going to see it. The Bronx is full, and it's going to be rocking. And these are 2 of the best teams in baseball. This is, I think the series is like what people have been craving in baseball since 1978. I think that there's nothing baseball needs more, and I'm going to say it, than these 2 in the World Series, because there's really nothing else that matters. I hate to say it. People don't like when I say this. New York and LA are all that matter. I used to live in Chicago, and I used to have broad shoulders, my ass. I'm like, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm like Wrigley Field, like Comiskey Park. When I went there, everyone, I was 10, and my dad let me drink at Comiskey Park. That's how effed up that place was. They had a shower in center field. It's not the Yankees and Dodgers. There's nothing like the Yankees and Dodgers. I don't care anything. The bank and the bank is open. My ass. Listen, all that matters is the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series. If the networks get that, they'll be frothing at the mouth.
They certainly will if they are able to accomplish that. Let's get to tonight's games. Only a few night games for us, including the Buccos, who are going for the sweep against the Dodgers out at PNC. It will be Bailey Falter and Walker Buehler going tonight, minus 175 for the Dodgers, plus $1.45 for the Buccos. Right now, Scotty, with that total sitting at 9.5, healthy total tonight.
Yeah, listen, I like the over, and I like the Bucks at that price at $1.58. Falter's been better than Buehler, so Buehler came back, missed a year, and he came back and he sucked. That's it. He just hasn't found his stuff yet, so maybe that comes out tonight. But I doubt it. The Pirates have beat him 2 nights in a row. I keep telling you, man, this team, if they ever hit, because they really aren't a good hitting team. I know Davis said they are. They're not. They're not a good hitting team. They're a good pitching team. They got good pitching. And they got good defense. And so pitching and defense can win you games, a lot of them. And when you don't hit, you don't score runs, you don't win. So you got to pitch and you got to close and you got to play D. And that's what the Pirates do. They beat them 1-0 the other day on Jones, like 1-0. How do you beat the Dodgers 1-0 if you're not good pitching and defense? So I give them a shot tonight to win this game too and sweep their ass. Sweep their ass right out of Pittsburgh. Let's go have steaks. Southside.
They have 3 guys in the lineup tonight, 7, 8, 9, all hitting under 200. The Pirate lineup. Tellez, our boy Hank Davis, and Sawinski are all hitting under 200.
So they brought Sawinski up, and he hit the home run to win the game.
He had the homer.
So they had sent him and Davis down. Now, I'll give you this. Like, I feel bad for Hank Davis because he is, was a very high draft pick, and he has really sucked onions since he came, since they drafted him. He's been awful. He's just been awful. And I'll say this about Rowdy. Rowdy is literally the Goodyear blimp.
He's a big dude, Rowdy. He's a big guy. And here's the problem. He was brought there for power. You could almost stomach 190 at the bottom of the lineup if the guy at least had 10 or 11 bombs or something, and he
doesn't have jack.
Some pop. He got 1 homer.
He's horrible
to go with his $1.75. So you got to give a little power if you're going to.
They couldn't even get rid of him if they tried. No one would want him. Not even the Long Island Ducks.
The Ducks could use.
You wouldn't take him on the team going for a perfect season. You'd decline it.
The Braves are in D.C. The Braves have been scuffling lately. They're in D.C. against the Nats. It's Ronaldo Lopez and Mitchell Parker tonight. Minus 155 for the Braves, plus 130 for the Nationals, and an 8.5 against Parker Lewis. Can't lose.
I mean, I like value, bro. I'll take the Nats at plus 130. I'm not laying that. I'm not laying that juice with the Braves. I don't trust them. I think the Nationals are tougher than anybody thinks they are. I'll take a shot at that price.
Especially with how the Braves have been playing.
Right.
I have no desire to do that either. The Twins will try to get 1 game from the Yankees this season. Pablo Lopez and Marcus Stroman is the pitching matchup in the Bronx. Yankees minus 145, plus $1.20 for the Twins, and an 8.5.
Run line, Yankees, boom.
I've got 3 or 4 more games and the Taters for tonight. When we come
tater
back,
time.
We got Taters. We'll get the Taters on. We had Jose Ramirez this afternoon for Cleveland. So hopefully we can get some more Taters going for us tonight, including a Bucco on the Tater list for tonight against Walker Buehler. We have that for you when we come back.
I like tater tots as much as French fries, as long as there's a lot of salt involved.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports
Be a
today.
guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
20-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen and watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, you got about 4 more baseball games and then your tater tots.
Let's go to Cincinnati, Scotty, where the Cubs and the Reds will get together. First of a 4-game series this weekend. Javier Assad against Hunter Green is the pitching matchup for game number 1. -125 for the Reds, +105 for the Cubbies, and a 9.5, the fat total at Great American.
Yeah, I bet on the Cubs today. And by the way, on FOTB for allonthebench.com, we had, I think, the Braves on the run line, but I didn't like that play. That's not my play. I told you I went for the value on the other one against the Braves with the Nats, so it is what it is.
Next, the Rockies are in St. Louis against the Cardinals tonight. They're starting a 4-game series as well. Our pal Cal Quantrill against Sonny Gray. So Sonny Gray, who has tailed off a little bit after that hot start, but -225 for the Redbirds tonight, +180 for the Rockies, and a flat 7. Give me the over.
I like that. I like that over, and I like the run line there with Gray and the Cardinals. They've been playing good ball. I mean, they're, I think a half game out of the wild card, so they're, coming into form at the very least, and he's their best pitcher.
We would like that to end. Nobody wants to see the Cardinals in the playoffs ever.
No.
So hopefully that could stop at some point. The Red Sox are facing the White Sox this weekend in Chicago. The White Sox, Scotty, they are 15-47, and they have lost 13 games in a row heading into tonight. And that's after blowing those 2 games against the Cubs the last few nights. I mean, they had big leads against the Cubs, and they couldn't get it done either night at Wrigley. They'll have Woodford tonight against Tanner Houck, -250 for the Red Sox, +2 Bills for the White Sox, and an 8.5.
Well, I won't deny that Woodford is terrible and gives up over 6 runs a game, but Houck doesn't give up a lot. So that 9, I'm going to go risky under. I'm going to go Red Sox, too much juice to bet them on the money line, too much juice on the run line at -145. I'm not doing that either. That's just a bad bet. I think the only play for me here is the under based on I don't think the White Sox are going to score any runs.
And finally, the Diamondbacks are in San Diego tonight, where they can get some nice soft serve ice cream over at Petco.
Oh.
Everybody loves that. It is Slade Ciccone against Randy Vasquez tonight. Padres minus $1.25. The Snakes are plus 105 and an 8.5 here.
Okay, both of these guys are treacherous when they pitch.
Awful.
I mean, they both give up 6 runs every time they pitch. So, give me the over, and all I gotta go. What was the number you got on that over? 8.5. I need 9 runs. You'll get that. You're looking at 12, 13 runs in this game between these two hacks.
Up, and away for me, too. And both of these teams, by the way, have been playing awful baseball. Just so we know. I mean, the Padres played awful in Anaheim the last couple days. They couldn't score any runs. The Diamondbacks got smashed by the Giants last night. It'd be nice to see maybe some runs get us going there. All right, how about the Taters for a Thursday night in Major League Baseball? Let's go. How about Juan Soto, Scotty? He destroys Pablo Lopez. He's got a couple homers already off him in his career, and he's 3-1. How about a belly bomb tonight at Great American? Plus 320 for Cody Bellinger. Ryan Reynolds, Scotty, let's clear the decks with a cannonball. He has a homer in his career off of Walker Buehler. Why don't we get another one tonight at PNC? We're going to go to that Arizona-San Diego game again. We're going to go in the Crow Zone with Jay Cronenworth, plus 475. And Austin Riley up against Parker Lewis can't lose for the Washington Nationals at plus 280 tonight. Let's get Riley cooking. He's been a little slow. We're going to try to jump on Riley while he's been cold, Scott.
Always a profitable experience with Carver High's tater tots every day on C2C. Line up and bet him and see what happens. He's constantly ringing the bell.
We rang it this afternoon. We think we went 1 for 2 this afternoon with Jose Ramirez and Ryan Mountcastle. Ramirez got us a homer in that Cleveland game, so we'll try to do even more tonight. There you go with the baseball. Hockey doesn't start until Saturday, Scotty. Like, this is also another one. We've just been waiting forever for the Oilers and the Panthers to finally get together, and they will on Saturday. Later on, I don't have enough time now, but I will sneak in Kachuk and this Chris Knobloch. I played it yesterday, but I don't care. You sent it to me, and I wanted to play it again. I hate this guy now because he took a shot at the Bills, so I'm rooting for the Panthers in this series. So I'm going to give you that Chris, don't call me Chuck Knobloch, of him taking the shot at the Bills for not ever winning a Super Bowl. So we'll do that later.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
20-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Is our NFL insider, and he's been covering the NFL since before Christ. You can follow him on X at Kaplan NFL for free, no less. It's the same thing as getting the SportsGrid app. It's free on iOS or Android. You can follow Adam Kaplan on the app, and you can watch the network on the app. You can listen to the network on the app, and you got Adam Kaplan everywhere you go. And you got him on C2C regularly. You got him on SportsGrid regularly. It's all the way things should be and should have been from the beginning and have been. All right. You went to Eagles OTAs today, and I want to know about a couple things. One, this big Dom guy that everybody's talking about here. And two, what is wrong with these sports talk guys in Philadelphia that they're like going crazy over the Eagles offense not being allegedly good in OTAs? Like, how ridiculous. The Phillies are 44-19 and they're talking about the OTA practice.
Yeah. We had the Eagles finished. Scott, good to be with you. The mandatory camp today. There's their third practice this week. They practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 9 other teams finished, and the other 22 teams around the NFL will finish next week. But let's get back to the Eagles. Yeah, I was down there in South Philly today, and first of all, look, we have to understand. Let's talk first about their offense. The Eagles have installed a brand new offense under new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. It's completely different than Jalen Hurts has played in. Jalen Hurts has gone through a lot of offensive scheme changes in his career, going back to high school. He's had a lot of different coaches. So Nick Sirianni, his scheme is out. Kellen Moore's scheme is in. Sirianni's involved, but it's Kellen Moore's scheme. Kellen Moore's also going to call the plays. So the thing is, the way I understand it is the timing is a little bit off, but that's to be expected. Remember now, Scott, as you well know, and everybody should know, off seasons are shorter now. Going back to the 11 CBA, there are not a lot of practices. So yes, of course, the defense is going to be ahead of the offense in this situation. And don't forget, they're running the same exact defense under Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator. This is the 4th year that they've ran his scheme. This is his first year there with Philly. The Eagles tried to hire him a couple years ago. It did not work out. But he's there now. But yeah, does the defense look better than the offense? Absolutely. The Eagles are not worried about it, believe me. The talk radio hosts around Philly, there are 2 stations here we have in Philly. They're blowing stuff up. It's not a big deal. Fans are going out of their minds. It's not a big deal. This is my 25th year of covering the National Football League. I never worry about this stuff. It's never really a problem. But yes, when you're installing a brand new offensive scheme, they're going to be growing pains. It's really not a big deal.
Honestly, between Barkley, Brown, Smith, their tight ends, their quarterback, they are loaded. What do I give a rat's ass about June 6th, the final day of off-season workouts mandatory? I could care less. When they roll out in September, that offense, they are stacked.
Yep. Not only are they stacked, by the way, this is one of the big stories of their offseason. All of a sudden, Mekhi Becton, who was drafted as a left tackle by the Jets, he signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles a couple weeks ago. He actually has been lining up at left guard. You're talking about a 6'7.5" guard now. He actually lined up at filling in for Landon Dickerson, their starting left guard, who was away due to personal business, but there's an excuse absence. But it's crazy to see a guy that big. And by the way, he's slimmed down now. He's down about 30 pounds or so. The bottom line is seeing a guy like that play guard is interesting. And the Eagles have a great offensive line. There's no doubt about that. But again, Jason Kelce is retired. They have a new starting center in Cam Jurgens. He moved from right guard to center. That's going to be a storyline of training camp. We'll have our storylines later in July. But yeah, way too much, I agree with you, made of this. It's crazy because you talk about the Phillies. The Phillies have the best record in baseball. They play in London this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. That should be a bigger story. Somehow in this town, you know this market in Philly very well. Somehow this story blew up this week.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They're 25 games over 500, and they're talking about the offensive woes of the Eagles, which they don't have any. What's the deal with this mafioso type, this big Dom guy that's protecting everyone? And they gave him some juicy new title. Wasn't he in trouble last year on the sidelines causing grief?
Yeah, so, okay, Dom DeSandro is his name. He's the Eagles' vice president of security. His nickname is Big Dom. I saw him today on the sidelines. He's a guy you always see in a sweatsuit, lovable guy, very beloved by the organization. Back here in Philly, we actually have T-shirts made of him. I mean, when you see a director of security having a T-shirt made of him, but the Eagles have that. But getting back to DeSandro's situation, so it was that Sunday afternoon game. The Eagles lost to the Niners here last season, and DeSandro, remember, a Niners player got in someone's face, and then DeSandro got in the Niners player's face. You're not supposed to do that, so he wound up getting suspended for the rest of the regular season. So he does get involved with the coaches and with security. So what the Eagles did is to make sure that everybody knows what his title is. He has a brand new title. He actually has a third title where he's going to be not only he's already advisor to the general manager, Howie Roseman, and vice president of security, but he's got a third title now to make sure everybody knows that he's with the coaches. He's now involved with the coach. He's got like a title with the coaches here. So yeah, he's the only one who has this, but DeSandro is extremely popular here, and it's interesting. He's really come up here for the ranks. By the way, Dom actually played football for a brief time at Penn State, but he's all about security, and you cannot miss the guy. He's always in a sweatsuit.
Is he in charge of bringing Pat's steaks over to the field as well?
Yeah, Dom's a sizable guy, by the way. You cannot miss him, and he's really bluff. He always has those glasses on, even when we have partly cloudy skies here in Philly. But yeah, by the way, the Eagles now have wrapped up. They'll report in late July. They're going to have a joint practice with the Patriots for one day in the preseason. But this is a team that people want to know what happened last season. But you're right, Scott. The roster's absolutely stacked on offense, and they have one of the best defensive coordinators in NFL history in Vic Fangio here. So I like their win projection of 11-12. I think that's pretty accurate.
So what's the deal with the UFL's ratings?
Yeah. This is an interesting story because I follow this stuff. In fact, there's a betting market for it. I know my friends at fantasypoints.com put out betting stuff and fantasy stuff information. So it's a kind of a big deal, the UFL, because look, we don't have football in the spring. You and I grew up with the USFL. But what's happened here, Scott, is this thing surprised me. Their TV ratings, if you just look at the XFL in the past and the USFL in the past, the last couple seasons, the UFL is up by about over 200,000 per week for TV. That's great with Fox, ABC, and ESPN. But the bummer is attendance-wise. Now, there are only 8 teams. While we've got the St. Louis Battlehawks, coached by Anthony Beck, your former Jets first-round pick, they average, Scott, they average over 30,000 per game. But the other 7 teams, they average less than 10,000 per game. And what I was told is, and the reason why the attendance is low, if you remember, the merger of combining the three leagues into one, that happened way later than they anticipated. And that is why it was hard to sell in those markets. And that's something they're going to have now because, from what I understand, there shouldn't be any movement. They've got the 8 teams. Everybody knows where they're going to be. So they'll now be able to market and have a full offseason. But, yeah, the crowds weren't great, but the TV ratings are really, really big. That to me, is a big surprise. I was not expecting that.
People want to watch that D.C. Defenders team with their fans that drink 5 million beers and make that beer snake every week on national television. That's like bigger than the game.
Oh, by the way, speaking of it, they got the playoffs that start this weekend, and that's another kind of layer to this. But I'll be interested to see if they could actually draw in these markets. I've talked to a couple of their coaches. They definitely think that it's all about staying put. Everybody knows where they're going to be, and that's going to help them this coming offseason.
I'm surprised that Adam Kaplan has not been named a general manager of one of those teams yet in the UFL, but I'm looking into it. Adam, great stuff. Thank you.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
3-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Once a day, you got to play our free-to-play BetMGM Swing for the Fences game for a chance to win great daily prizes. Play as a batter and pick an area of the strike zone. Get a single, double, triple, homer, or fly out. Play it once a day. It's free to play. And if you got a BetMGM Sportsbook account, you can play Swing for the Fences and have an opportunity to win a bunch of rewards if you get a hit. Reward types include parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, single game parlay boost tokens that Carver Highs won twice, bonus spins in eligible casino states, and bonus bets. It's incredible. All rewards have to be used within 24 hours. You're going to love it. The free-to-play BetMGM Swing for the Fences. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. One sidebar here, Carver High. I just watched this ridiculous press conference between Nate Diaz and Masvidal. They're boxing, apparently. And first of all, the press conference was embarrassing. The guy running it asked Nate Diaz what doesn't bother him, and the guy started going off on everybody that he hates everybody, hates the guy that asked him the question, hates Masvidal, hates this guy, hates that guy, hates people, hates press conferences, hates everything. Meanwhile, hey, genius, your career is over, you moron. You're lucky someone's giving you money to lose another boxing match. Secondly, when it was over, some outrageous, violent fights broke out. And I mean, people got the shack beat out of them. People got stomped. There were injuries, ambulances, the whole deal. It was chaos, Mike.
Was this like people in the crowd or the camps of the two guys? Who was involved in
it? It was the camps and people.
Okay.
So first it was like the camps, and they started throwing hands, and I mean, guys got clocked. I mean, clocked right in the orbital bone. Clocked. Masvidal was in the middle of it, throwing bombs, and then a bunch of people got like run over, and then they got up and started throwing. So like fans got hurt, and then they got up, and people like the guy and his girlfriend or whatever got hurt. So the guy got up and he started swinging bottles and throwing hands. I mean, there was like 500 fistfights going on at once. Like, it was the most out of control scene ever. You're gonna just go on social media, you'll see it. It's embarrassing. Honestly, Masvidal and Diaz are both embarrassments. They really are.
And let's be honest,
these ridiculous fights, these boxing
for
matches.
him to sit up there and to basically say he hates everybody, he hates this, he hates that, he hates that. That's one way to sell the fight. Which, by the way,
he doesn't sell anything.
need it. You clearly need the fight if you're doing it, right? I mean, he clearly needs the check if he's having to fight. What a way to bring people to the table then. I hate you. I hate you. I hate that. I hate everybody. Come watch me fight. All right.
He's an idiot.
I can't wait. I can't wait to not buy that fight. That's what I can't wait for.
No one and their brother would pay for that fight. Here's the deal.
Serious.
And I'll add something to that. First of all, he's brain dead. Okay, like he's been punched so many times and kicked so many times in the head. He's clearly, all you have to do is watch him. He's stupid. He can't even talk. He slurs his words because he's got such a mush brain. CTE, automatic later in life, automatic dementia, automatic. Secondly, I thought Dana White made a great point, and it's rare you'll hear me say this, but he said no one on the face of the earth wants to watch this loser J-Off fight Mike Tyson. And I've heard today that they canceled that fight entirely now. It's never happening.
And Moff says the brother, I guess is Diaz's brother's coming back to the UFC at 40 years old.
He is fighting Nate. Nate is fighting. Nick is fighting. Nate is the guy that caused trouble today. Nick Diaz is fighting this Vulcan or some guy.
Vulcan.
Yeah, he's fighting. He's fighting somebody. Meanwhile,
they've got
the guy
so
says
many
he was
fight
his hero.
cards now. They've got so many fight cards every week. It's hard to keep track of who's who. With the UFC. They've got so many fight cards,
and they're in bed with WWE now. They're partners with WWE. Meanwhile, they threw Vince out because he's a perv. They threw him out for grabbing asses. He's finished.
The Stanley Cup final starts on Saturday night. I'm going to save all this for tomorrow, Scotty, because honestly, it still plays. Vicente Luque, by the way, is who he's fighting.
Vulcan.
Vicente Luque. Vulcan, Vicente Luque, whatever. I'll give you
I knew it was V something.
I'll give you Kachuk and this Chris Don't Call Me Chuck Knobloch again tomorrow on C2C as we do a full preview for Game 1 on Saturday night. I'll give you all the numbers then as well. I'll give you the notes, though. Pavelski's going to retire after 18 NHL seasons. He actually is probably one of the best guys who hasn't won a cup, Scotty, to be quite honest with you. Pavelski's had a hell of a career, but does not have his name on Lord Stanley.
He did nothing in the playoffs. Like, he's shot.
Did nothing this year. He was shot. He did nothing is right. Fans react to the partial ice view seats at the Delta Center for the new Utah games. They also today gave the 6 final names for the team. The Yeti, the Venom, the Outlaws, the Mammoth, the Blizzard, and the Utah Hockey Club. The Utah
I heard
HC.
it's
Those
between
are the
Blizzard and the Yeti, and they should just get it over with and call them the Utah Yeti, because that's what, it's like a snow monster, and then they can take on the Avalanche, which is also a monster. When there's an avalanche, people get crushed. The Utah Yeti, it's the only choice.
Only choice. The Leafs hire former Islander coach Lane Lambert as an assistant. Good luck with him. The NHL is going to put their stars front and center in a new Amazon series that's going to start in October. They actually have some pretty good names for that, Scotty. I know McDavid's doing it and a few other guys. So that Crosby's doing it too. That's good. So that'll be interesting coming out in the fall with the new season. The top NHL local broadcasts for this past season, according to people who think they know, the Red Wings, the Seattle, Dallas, Vancouver, the Rangers, and the Islanders are the top 6. The Penguins came in 28th for their local broadcast.
You know why? Because, first of all, they use different people every game. They don't have they have a different play-by-play guy every game, and they have a different color guy every game. They use 3 different color guys, and they have 2 different play-by-play guys. Like, honestly, Mario, call me. What's the problem? I mean, honestly.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
20-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, Carver High, I know that on days when you're not managing the undefeated Ducks going for their first championship, that you like to evaluate some of the Ferrall finish stories. Now, one of which we'll start with today for you is Tiger had a charity poker event in Las Vegas that people are reacting to. What happened there?
Yeah, he had a whole thing in Vegas this week for his Tiger Foundation. It was they played golf. It was a poker tournament, everything. So Phil Hellmuth, legend, poker player, of course, was at this event. Tiger's there with who's the guy, Scotty? Ninja, the streamer guy.
Ninja.
They're all there on this phone, and Hellmuth starts talking to him about the foundation and what they're doing there, and Tiger's smashed. I mean, look, he's not like I don't think it was like an I have a problem smashed.
No.
It was I'm out here at the event playing poker and having a couple of drinks kind of smashed. Probably wasn't the best time for Phil to get him on the side, but I guess with Tiger's past indiscretion, Scotty, you could see why people were nervous at his condition during that Phil Hellmuth spot.
People love seeing Tiger high. They remember when he got pulled over by the popo and he was absolutely lit on all kinds of painkillers and booze. And this time he was just clearly drunk and having a good time in Vegas. Like everyone parties in Vegas and gets their swerve on. By the way, we'll be in Vegas next week for the Tank Davis and Benavidez fights at the MGM Grand Garden Arena on Saturday night, the 15th. We'll be doing live shows on Thursday and Friday. I'll be at the MGM broadcasting with Carver High on Coast to Coast from the PBC event that'll be on Prime Video pay-per-view Saturday night.
Thug Rose is going to fight Macy Barber.
Thug Rose.
Headlines the fight night in Denver on July the 13th, so she's back in the mix. Usyk says he returned to cruiserweight is part of his plan. Isn't he like the heavyweight champion of the world now? Isn't he? What? Okay, fight cruiserweight? Sure. Whatever.
Why don't you just stay a heavyweight and be done with it? You're the baddest man on the planet now. What are you doing?
Where do these guys come up with this stuff? Who talks to these guys? Somebody put the guy to his side. You're the heavyweight champion of the world. UConn gives Gino Auriemma an extension which makes him the highest paid coach in women's basketball. He passes Mulkey, who was previously the highest paid coach in women's hoop.
I mean, Liberace. So I think that Gino should coach the men's side too, coach both teams.
Well, there's a chance that job's going to be available very soon. On the other side, Morikawa bogeys the 18th hole here. He's going to finish at 4 under. All right, so he's going to be 2 back. Adam Hadwin will be the first-round leader. He was like 90-1 if you caught Adam Hadwin. Congratulations. And the Joker, Novak Djokovic, will have knee surgery after he bowed out of the French Open. Wimbledon is in doubt. I'd say he's not playing Wimbledon, Scotty, if he's having knee surgery right now. Wimbledon's in like a month. He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing at Wimbledon, and it certainly changes everything for him moving forward. The first time I remember him having knee surgery, so we'll see how he does after that. Remember, Nadal's career has now basically ended because of injuries. He can't win a match anywhere, so I think he's going to retire. And Joker's still got a lot left in tennis, but we'll see if he does with a bum knee that he's having operated on. For all the finish time, ex-NBA player turned homeless drunk, Delonte West, arrested again, this time on 2 different charges, and finally held on a large bond. He's always running into the popo on the streets. 10,000 human remains found on a serial killer's farm. Jeez. Christ. Some guys burying 10,000 human remains on the farm. I mean, that's a movie in itself. Get the rights, Carver High. An Indiana man steals a liquor truck from outside a bar to pay off his drug debt. Now, this is creative thinking. I mean, can you imagine like planning it and like sitting across the street in the car and like eyeing the guy when he goes in to drop off the liquor and the beer, and then you roll over, jump in the truck and drive off with all the booze and beer? Strong effort, I say. Couple pulls up a safe with $100,000 in it in a New York City lake in a park in Central Park. They actually pulled out a safe and cracked it open, and there was $100,000 in it, covered in mud and water. They're having some company dry it. It's all real money, $100,000. Rupert Murdoch married for the 5th time. He's 93 and super creepy. GTD is next. Go to Ferrall and Bench.com. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock on Coast to Coast.
Harder to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for, so I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
only on SportsGrid.